This message is speaking directly about pre-orchestrated chaos. That's exactly what's going on in the world right now, folks. The protests, school shootings, the political rivalry, the craziness over in Israel, Palestine, it's all orchestrated. It's all heavily orchestrated in advance by the same, 14 families. If you notice, everybody's getting so transfixed and preoccupied on what's going on in the news. What this is doing, and I'm going to tell you, what this is doing is you're connecting your energy to these things. It's lowering your vibration. The collective energy of this planet is lowering, and that's how they can control you and the entire human population. Because you are consciously choosing to connect to your lower egocentric self, which is what they control. And you're detaching from your higher self in order to do that. So you are uncoupling from the divine, lowering your vibration right to the rock bottom level and plugging into the dirt. And this is how they can control things. Only when you're a vibrational equivalent can they control you, when you connect to that system. And this is all they're ever going to do. This is the same nonsense. They run it constantly. Do you honestly think Donald Trump is going to come in and save this country? And you think this other guy in office is any better? It's two wings of the same bird, folks. They play you every 4 years, and you never seem to catch on. It's pre-orchestrated chaos is what it is. Coming from the same, 14, 15 families that are running the whole show? Come on. You guys got to wake up, man. You folks have to seriously wake up. Listen to what I'm saying. Now it's the protest. Before it was the school shootings. And then it was, El Pokey Pokey that went on for years and years and years. And then it was Afghanistan. And then it was Cuba. Now it's Israel and Palestine again for the umpteenth time. I remember when I was a kid in the 70s, this stuff was going on. It always comes around in cycles, exactly when they need this stuff to hit. It splashes all over the news. Everybody's like, oh, war. You connect with it and down goes your frequency. And you play into their hands every single time. Like this is a real thing. School shootings. How does a 15-year-old get his hands on $80,000 worth of weapons and armament and ammunition if he doesn't even have a job? Anybody? Anybody? You think these protesters are just doing that of their own volition? They're not being put up to it by some hidden, entity in the shadows? Come on, folks. Distraction, diversion, deviation, divide and conquer. It's old psychological tactics. They're running it on you like a rerun. You ever see the movie Die Hard? When the lead bad guy, Hans, he said, let the FBI come in because they're going to run the play. They're going to run the play by the book, and they're going to fall into our hands. And sure enough, they did. They were as predictable as the sun rising. And Hans was right. The FBI came in, cut the power, and that unlocked the last seal of the vault, and boom, he had all his money. That's exactly what you people do. You fall into the trap every single time. You don't think this is pre-orchestrated in advance? Look at history. It repeats itself every few years. It's the same thing. It's the protests. And now they're going from school to school to school to school. Really? Protests never did that before. It's always one campus or another. They don't march in groups to hit each campus like it's like a rock group on tour, hitting every venue in the country. And all these young kids, they're just blindly ignorant. And they're being led by the nose by come over here and do what we tell you to do, and go and riot and go and protest in that campus, and we'll pay you money, and go and do this and go and do that. And then same with the school shootings, which coincides with the red flag gun law that the government says, if we think you're crazy, we'll take away your guns. If you ever want to know why they're so intent on taking away the guns from the Americans, go look up the history of Cuba. When Castro came in and overthrew that government with a coup d'etat, the first thing he did when he took power, he had all of his henchmen he had all of the Cuban people register their guns. And then once they did, he had all of his henchmen go door to door and take away those guns. And that's the reason why those people are still in that same issue, that same predicament 80 years later. They don't have guns. They don't have a way to defend themselves. That's why it's a time capsule stuck in 1954 or whatever year it is in the 50s. And that's exactly what happened. He overthrew that government. He overtoppled it. He ordered all of the Cuban citizens to register their weapons. And the moment they did, all of his official, his henchmen went door to door and took all the guns away. If you don't believe me, go ask Australia. They sold their guns back to the government in the 90s. Look where they are. Look at China, how defenseless they are against the government. No weapons. Look at North Korea. No weapons. Are you catching on yet? I hope you're catching on. See, I'm going to lay it down for you. The plan is total global domination through the proliferation of all of this pre-orchestrated chaos, if you haven't figured it out. That's what Pokey Pokey was about. That's just testing the waters. That was just an exercise. If you haven't figured it out. Because remember, 4 years ago, it was like you're splashing all over the news 24/7, 365. It was like, oh, it'll never go away. All of a sudden, you're hearing crickets. Where did it go? It just left. In 2019, 3.2 million people died of communicable diseases. Over 100,000 people were diagnosed with the flu. Over 80,000 succumbed to the flu. In 2020, those numbers, they just went away. They all got absorbed into the you-know-what. Those numbers, if something like less than 1,200 people in 2020 had the flu. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? How it just all of a sudden walked off the face of the earth. And then in 2021 and 2022, it all of a sudden magically came back again. That's when El Scamo was fading, and it didn't work the way they hoped. This is all orchestrated long in advance, folks. You folks need to seriously get your face out of TikTok. Wake up, rise up, wise up, and start thinking for your freaking selves. Because if not, you're going to find yourself in a FEMA camp. You think I'm playing? Go Google Map how many FEMA camps there are. They have them in Seattle, Connecticut. They're all over the place. What a FEMA camp really is, it's an internment camp. AKA, World War II Nazi Germany concentration camp. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So all of this stuff going on, I hope you're not buying into it, because you see what it's doing again? It's getting families to fight. Pick a side. You're right. I'm wrong. Everybody, let's kill each other. While they watch the news, and that toxicity and malevolent energy just spews into your living room, and everybody absorbs it, and they're all angry at each other because of your ego and your belief system. You got to be right, and you got to pound the other guy into submission until he aligns his beliefs with yours. And then victory, I'm the best. That egocentric garbage. Analyze the paradigm. It's the freaking same thing. And Donald Trump's going to come in and save the universe. The globalist that he is. The only difference between Trump and the rest of them, he doesn't have blood lineage to the reptilians. But he's a globalist. Because if they wanted him dead, he would have been offed a long time ago. The fact that he's alive should tell you. Remember what he told you a long time ago, 4 years ago? He says, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. Do you remember when he said it? Go look it up on YouTube if you don't believe me. That's telling you to your face. He's telling you, I'm one of them. That's why I wear a red tie with a white shirt, flashing his colors. As a Satanist, they love red and white and throwing their symbolism in your face. They tell you, chicken, that's code for kids. Also pizza, that's code for kids. When you see them on talk shows, oh, you make really good pizza, don't you, Jennifer? Yes, I make great pizza. That's code for kids, Pizzagate. And the chicken, that's code for kids, child sex trafficking. This is all what this is about. And TikTok is Chinese mind control. That's it. There may be one or two things on there that are probably true. I'm not doubting all of it's false, but all of the garbage I'm hearing about, the sky is made of glass, and if somebody cracks it, we'll all drown underwater, and we're all submerged underwater. That's why when the rockets go up, they have to curve, because if they crack the firmament, we'll all die. The word firmament means sky, by the way. And I've heard the sun is a hexagonal projector that's actually sitting in front of our sun. And I've also heard that CERN has destroyed the universe already. And that I've heard the God particle and the flower of life. And I've heard it all. It's absurdly insane. That's all I can say, folks. You out there in YouTube land, You people need to wake the heck up. You really do. You are totally, solely, and absolutely dependent on a system that's going to be hell-bent on taking you out. Obsolescence and then extinction. AI. You think AI is your friend? Why would they need you if they have AI? They don't need people. You're just a food source. That's all you are. They're going to keep you around. Look at the movie Soylent Green with Charlton Heston, 1973. Soylent Green. Soylent. Soylent Green, 1973, Charlton Heston. They're telling you right there. People are the food. Look at the movie Logan's Run, 1976. Michael York. Logan's Run. A 20-something society. Anybody past 29 has to go to carousel because they can't afford older people. And anybody reaches the birthday to 29, they're taken to carousel and they're murdered. So you have a bunch of mindless little youths running around with no brains in their head, being told what to do, and they listen. And they just what? Make a whole bunch of babies, and they're just mindless. And that's exactly what this is what they want. This is their utopian society. It's actually dystopian, by the way. Read the book 1984 by George Orwell. He pretty much catches it. You know, he's pretty much telling you what they had planned. This stuff's going way back, 1911 and before that. What do you think the Bible is? The Bible is predictive programming from Genesis to Revelation. How do you think they have such predictive qualities? Because they're telling you centuries before what they had intended. It's just they did not have the technological capacity to facilitate these types of agenda. Now they're comfortable. That gap has been bridged. If you haven't figured it out, pre-orchestrated chaos, folks. Don't buy into the lies. Start thinking for yourself. Don't get diverted or distracted or deviated or dissuaded by these things, because that's what it's designed to do. These are energy vampires, man. This is psychic sabotage, dark arts, dark energy, dark matter. The ethers of dark matter, as a matter of fact. Don't get pulled in, because then your energy is contributing to that satanic matrix, and then you're no better than they are. By feeding into this stuff and believing it and then go spewing it all over the place. Oh, guess what I saw on the news today? Blah, 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 blah. Same trash. Regurgitating the same thing. That's what they want. They want you to fight. They want you to be divided, be angry, be passionate about my side is right, you're wrong, and you have to go tell everybody this stuff for hours and hours and hours and hours. And share it online and share it on your social media platforms and make sure you stick your face in the comments for 6 hours, bludgeoning people because they don't align their beliefs with yours. That's exactly what they want. You're falling into their hands. Instead of plugging into your higher self, ignoring these things, and just work on elevating your frequency and ignoring these illusions. Because it's just another thing. It's going to come and then it's go. It's just going to be the school protests. Then it's going to go back to school shootings again. Then it'll be something else. And then it's an election year, by the way, which, by the way, in 2020 was an election year. Did anybody catch on to that? Did anybody catch on to that? No, I don't think anybody did. And here's a guy who sat in his basement for 10 months and garnered 81 million votes. That's more than we have legal registered voters in this country. Dead people and cats were voting for him. But he won fair and square. A guy who doesn't even know 1 + 1. But he won fair and square. Sure he did. Sure he did. I'm quite sure he did. Maybe in another alternate reality. Not in this one. And people, they don't have patience anymore. I think you have an attention span, of 5 seconds or something like that, they said. And I think the average TV broadcast is something on a 4th grade level. That's why they call it the idiot box, the boob tube. You know, that's what they used to call it in my day. They used to say the boob tube, which means not boob meaning breast, boob meaning moron, imbecile. You know, brain dead, ignorant, stupid, dumb. The boob tube, you know, the idiot box. Because that's what it does to your brain. Unless you're watching some sort of intellectual documentary, I can't see you expanding your consciousness watching television, not watching reruns and sitcoms, all that low energy garbage. The television is mind control, by the way. It's a patented mind control device. Look it up if you don't believe me. I don't know the particular patent number, but I off the top of my head, but it is. Your cell phone is another one too, by the way. Anyway, to conclude this video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, stop buying into the propaganda. Don't believe the hype. It's distraction. It's wag the dog's tail. Hey, look over here, look over here. And then look over here. Here's a war here. Oh, look, protests, school shootings. Look, subway. Oh, we have somebody who's trying to be a good Samaritan, but we have to punish him because we don't want you being a good Samaritan. So let somebody get choked to death on the train while you stare at your phone because they're trying to make you desensitize robots, folks. They're trying to discourage you from being human. If you see a pregnant woman getting stabbed to death, don't do anything. Just stare at your phone and pretend like it's not happening. Just like when a pregnant woman gets on the train and you don't give up your seat, you just stare at your phone because you're being programmed to be desensitized, dehumanized, and just absolutely numb inside. No consideration, no courtesy, no kindness, no compassion. No empathy, no warmth, no love. Inhuman, dehumanized, desensitized, demoralized. Everything. That's what they're pushing for. They want you to get to a point where you can literally watch your mother be murdered in front of you and it won't even faze you. You'll just be so busy watching TikTok going, okay. TikTok, give me orders. I have to go do orders now. Okay. That's what I see now. Zombie society. This is the zombie apocalypse. That's what I see. I see people walking up and down the street, strolling their children while they're staring at their cell phone. They push their children into oncoming traffic into a four-way intersection, not even realizing cars are coming because they're so busy looking down at their phone. They jog with their phone. They walk with their phone. They can't ever put the phone down. Even if they go on vacation, they're sticking their face in the phone. Go on a cruise, spend $5,000 just to stare at your phone. That's all they do. Your phone is not only a portal to the darkness, but it's also a conduit to that hive mind mentality, by the way. That's what's funneling in all that putrid toxicity that's saturating your subconscious mind. If you were to construe these energy waves as you would water and your mind is a sponge, your mind is oversaturated already with the toxicity of that cesspool called the hive mind mentality, aka social media, aka the internet. That's exactly what's going on. It's killing your brain cells. Video shorts are designed to cause you to have no concentration, no focus, no attention span, no patience. That's why they make them 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, then they'll probably go down to 15 seconds as the ceiling, and then 5 seconds as the ceiling. Then you're just going to go boop, and that's the video short. That's why you speak in abbreviations. You don't write full, complete sentences, and you do not speak clear, concise, colloquial English. You probably don't even know what the word colloquial means because they're dumbing you down by putting words like hangry and Juneteenth into the dictionary. I hope you're seeing this. I know I am. I have personally witnessed over the last 5 decades the collective intellectual level of the planet slowly being devolved to such a deteriorated degree that very few, if any, possess the cerebral capacity for self-thought, let alone self-action. Because the minds of the few control the minds of the many. When everyone is thinking the same, no one is thinking at all. That leaves us with very few, if any, individual, proactive, autonomous thinkers left in the world. Because this world is comprised of 2 elements, breeders and intellects. Let me say that again, breeders and intellects. That's all you have. And that's what it's comprised of. So which one are you?